Hey everybody, welcome back to What's for Dinner. It's a Monday edition. It's about 5 o'clock. I hope you're all doing awesome. And just wanted to remind you guys that nothing you hear tonight should be considered medical advice. This is for entertainment and informational and educational purposes only. If you guys have any questions, any medical questions, please consult your highly knowledgeable healthcare provider for that.
But what else can we say to that?
With all that being said, what are we eating tonight?
So, that's not it. So brats, Philly cheesesteak brats
Okay,
that you did on the grill.
Yeah, they just came off the grill and they're nice and plump and juicy. We love these. We get them from a local butcher. The name of the local butcher is Harder House, so the Springfield people will know that. And then we've got our Redmond's real salt and Jane's crazy mixed up seasoning in the back there. So, all right, then what do you got going on here?
Chicken wings. So I just sprayed it with avocado oil, and then I did ranch powder and salt on one side, and then and Jane's crazy, and then Jane's crazy alone on the other side.
Okay, and
those
are
air fried.
Those are air fried in the air fry. Oh, and these guys, I did them on the grill, by the way. I put a little bit of avocado oil around the bottom of the pan, and then I flip them about halfway through. But otherwise, you can see they're just slightly. I just wait till they're nice and plump. Okay, and then
just an ever so thin layer of pasta sauce on the bottom, and then mozzarella and pepperoni.
Okay.
This is the last time we're going to eat this unless we go get more cheese and pepperoni.
Yeah, we went through a lot with this. Okay, yeah. It looks good. And then you heated up some
leftover eggs and bacon from yesterday's dinner.
Okay, cool. All right. So when I cut you off before, what were you going to say about the healthcare providers?
Well, honestly, it bugs me. And so we're supposed to tell you to go ask your provider, but you have to make sure that your provider, no matter what their initials are after their name, that they went to special courses for nutrition and hormones. Because even GYNs do not learn bioidentical hormones. They are the least knowledgeable when it comes to the literature on bioidentical hormones.
Yeah, and we just talked about this quite a bit. I think we talked about it during several episodes at Low Carb USA in San Diego when we went this year. We were seeing more and more healthcare providers and health coaches and nutritionists and dietitians, pharmacists, people like that are actually coming. It used to be mostly were just lay people come to these conferences. Now more and more healthcare providers, and time after time, they have a question and answer session. So these providers and lay people can get up and ask questions and to the actual speakers.
Yeah.
And time again, they're saying we don't learn it in medical school, we don't learn it in registered dietitian school, we don't learn it, in any textbooks that's out there. So,
and I was walking past a group of providers. I think they were all physicians. Walking past them, and the one guy said, "How can we change this damn healthcare system?" Super loud like that. Like he was mad. He was mad. Yeah. The system is rigged against you.
It's too bad.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
So what are we going to talk about tonight?
So a couple things. Number one is I was going through, Mark just had labs, so I was going through his labs and I saw his glucose monitor. So I was like, these are really boring, but let's show you what a healthy glucose monitor looks like.
Okay.
So these are things he was wearing on the back of his arm, checks your blood sugar constantly. So you can see he's just pretty nice and steady. I picked this one out though, because he has this little peak here. And he has this little dip here. He has dips actually in quite a few of them. When you are metabolically healthy, you are not going to feel this dip. You're going to feel a dip when you're up here at 250 to 300 and you fall down to 100. That's going to where you feel it. But here, this is not a big deal. But here, this was exercise. So he had black coffee at 7:15, which is probably somewhere in here, black coffee. And then at 9:15, so 9 o'clock is in the middle here, 9:15, he did a workout. So he spiked because of a workout, because of cortisol, because you have to have cortisol to run or sprint or lift weights. So fascinating, right? And then it comes right back down.
Yeah, and also too, guys, is I don't know what the workout was, whether it was a resistance training or a sprint workout. That's what I was doing during these times. But your body requires glucose for some high intensity exercise. So there's a very good possibility that was just gluconeogenesis. So that was glucose being created, fat being pulled out of storage, being sent to the liver, being turned into sugar, and then the sugar being used for fuel. So that could be also part of it.
Yep.
Along with the cortisol.
And then, I don't know. These are more, but they're just, and see, he kept a food diary with everything too.
So yeah, there's a food diary over here that I kept. So we were pretty strict about it when we did it this one time here. And this has been a while back, but
yeah.
Keep going.
This was in 2020. So anyway, this is just boring. But and he has these dips here that he doesn't feel anything.
I don't even notice these dip, guys.
No.
And the reason why is because when I have those dips, my body is trained to operate on ketones. So I don't need sugar. My body can run just as fine off of ketones as it can off of sugar. And at this point, during these, when these were done, I was fat adapted.
Good thing this isn't your heart.
Yeah, flatline.
We don't want that for your heart.
These are so boring, guys.
They're so boring.
And it's good, but this is how you get. It looks boring,
right,
but you feel great like when you're on this. So
yeah, because if you're going up and down, you crave, then you eat, then you fat store, then you drop your glucose,
crash.
Then you crave, right? Crash, get irritable and mean, and then you crash, and then you crave, and then you eat sugar in the form of carbohydrates like banana and stuff, and then you push things to fat storage, and then you drop and crash, and then you crave, and then you eat. And it's just like, I'm not saying Mark's always easy to live with, but we're not dealing with sugar highs and lows with these.
Yeah. Thanks for the preface on that, even though.
Well, you are type A, so
yeah,
there's that.
Gotcha.
And then, the other things that we've kind of been talking about is, this whole phenomenon on healthy at any size. We love you guys, and you honestly should know by now how much we love you, but you are not healthy at certain sizes. If you are overweight, you have visceral fat pushing on your organs, and that fat is bad and leads to cancers and all this kind of other stuff. So, that's a big push. People are just trying to say obesity is genetics. Did you have anything to add?
No, I'm just saying it's the normalization of disease. It's not, you can't do anything about it. It's genetic, and this is normal. So like you see all of this normalization, whether it's in commercials, like you look at underwear commercials. And guys, like, we're not fat shaming or anything like this. This is not what this is about. This is out of pure love and us telling you. So you see these commercials where, they're showing these extra large plus size models. You've got plus size mannequins. They're trying to talk about kids. It's normal for kids to be obese now. All these things, and it's not normal. It may be more normal than it used to be to see it, but it doesn't mean it's healthy.
No, and back in 2020, they were pushing, or 2021, they were pushing the dad bod. And they were saying, they did a survey, and it was like an astounding amount, which is, I think, a bogus, who they were asking. But like 94% of women prefer a man that has a dad bod. No, I prefer a man that when push comes to shove, like the zombie apocalypse, he will protect us and provide, food, hunter-gatherer. That's who we're really looking for in our ancestral DNA.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
and that's what this really is, guys. Ancestrally speaking,
Yes.
When it's fitness, resistance training, running sprints, walking long distances, endurance type exercises. With regards to eating, it's normal to fast. It's not a big deal if you miss a meal here and there.
Right.
I mean, for some people it is, and you have to train yourself to get there. But it's not a big deal to miss foods, and then to eat things that are species appropriate, and nutritionally dense. So. Right. The kind of foods that we're talking about eating here are exactly that. So if you stick to the outside perimeter of the grocery store and you look at the meats and the cheeses, the dairy, the eggs, some of the vegetables, seasonally appropriate fruit for where you live, things like that are perfectly okay. And by the way, you mentioned this before. It's okay to prescribe somebody what? You mentioned a couple things earlier.
Ozempic, and there's an endocrinologist in town that still gives phentermine. I'm sure there's more, but I keep hearing about this one to lose weight. But if you lose weight doing keto or carnivore, it's like, you're going to die.
Yeah, it's going to kill you. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this is just the stuff I know you guys hear us talking about this. This is the stuff we're fighting. We're battling every single day. Every day, Teresa has multiple patients coming in and they're fighting these providers and they're fighting all this noise, this outside noise, all this. I have a problem. My biggest beef is with the trainers and these other influencers who are out there who look great, they sound great, they've got these awesome channels and stuff like that, and they're telling you guys can do whatever you want. You can eat how you want. They're telling you what you want to hear, and then they're selling their product or their service that way. We're not like that. We're telling you, no, this is not easy. There's nothing easy about it, but this is what you've got to do if you want to prevent disease in the future, because you can press the easy button now. And you can just ignore all the problems that all the fat that's accumulating, all the different blood pressure rising, your cholesterol markers being all knocked out and whatnot. But eventually the chickens are going to come home to roost, and you're going to have to address these problems.
Yeah.
And if you wait until it's too late, then you're going to be addressing them in ways that are very uncomfortable, very expensive for you. So
And
don't
very
wait.
restrictive. Many times people say, oh, that's too restrictive, I can't do it. Well, I think being on 5 to 10 medicines is pretty restrictive, and just feeling like crap all the time is pretty restrictive. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
So, but I wrote down, because my memory's not great. There's such a push for anti-meat right now that they're trying to say meat and fat causes diabetes and fatty liver, not the Pop-Tarts and the weird stuff that we've only had for like the last 75 to 100 years.
Yeah, I don't know what planet these people are living on that come up with this stuff. It's absolutely the bizarro world right now. The exact opposite is true.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the newest demographic for obesity and non-alcoholic fatty liver are kids.
Yeah,
So-
so sad.
And with kids, it can be difficult because both of my kids, one worse than the other, Blake, who makes insulin, got pudgy right around 10 or 11. Before they hit the growth spurt, their testosterone takes off.
Yeah.
So it can be tricky, but this is the age group where even if a kid's belly hits the counter or the wall before your feet, it's still bad.
Yeah, and remember,
bad.
kids specifically are being targeted by the big food companies right now, and also the pharmaceutical companies. They know that their future lies with the children. So what they want to do is they want to create addicts at a very early age. So they're coming up with this hyper palatable foods, cereals, sugar, just sugary treats and things like that. Get the kids hooked on them early. Remember, these food companies learned from the cigarette companies. They used the tobacco addiction model on children, and they did that back in like 1986. But they applied that same model to children, and now they're trying to get these kids to be addicts, so when they grow up, they will be lifelong customers. You'll be on a subscription program with, all this junk food. You're going to be on a subscription program with all these medicines that you have to take.
Yeah.
And they want it for you to be like that for your entire life.
And then you go to lazy providers who, if you're 35 or above, they're going to tell you it's age related because
Yeah.
they're just lazy. They're lazy.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yep.
Anyway, we're at 12 minutes. So
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
yeah, we went over our
Okay.
usual target time, but anyway. All right, guys. Well, we love you all. So if you
So
have
much.
yeah, we're in your corner. So I know it's not easy, but
Because we've been on the other side where you guys are,
Yeah.
fighting from.
we've been through it all.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys have any questions, shoot them our way. Tell us what you're having for dinner. And again, we love you all. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.